What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Some commentary for you tonight. I want to talk about Superstar Mode. Take a look here. Yesterday did the banner video with the Colts. Maurice Jones-Drew, Fred Taylor, much respect to him, used to run all over the Colts defense, so wanted to show a little love to MJD. Now, Superstar Mode is something to me that I never really got into, but I'm really surprised that it was gone so soon in Madden. And yes, it has its own faults, it's had its own problems, but it should have been built upon, because to me, when you take a look at what this has to offer versus Longshot, there's just no comparison. I mean, every game in the marketplace is trying to build that experience and that lifestyle of a player that you control. And here you take a look at the Welcome to Superstar just options they have this year. Basically, you're progressing your players through skill points that you're earning in practices and games. You're spending them to make the player better. And then I thought it was a little bit hokey, but a cool concept that they used to have the little headsets that you could plug in, the little Motorola headsets, and you would actually hear the offensive or defensive coordinator tell you what your assignment was on the upcoming play. And yeah, that's where this game mode probably got halted a little bit, because you were limited in your impact in the team. But in reality, I mean, that's pretty much became the standard for most sports games, is kind of that limited player concept where you are the player. And this gave you some really good options. You created your own player, which we're going to look at in just a minute. But I also really like the concept of going and choosing an NFL rookie, where if you wanted to be Andrew Luck, you wanted to be Ndamukong Suh, whoever you wanted to take over and play as that person, you had that ability. And then obviously the most demanded thing people have had for such a long time, whether it's a custom draft class or not, this game gave you the ability to import a Road to Glory player that you've went through the NCAA game with and continue him from college to pro. And that's when you talk about replay value. That's when you talk about a game that you're personally vested in because you feel like you have a connection to it. And that's what adds replay value to a game. When you take a look at the customization here, truthfully, a lot of this stuff is still in Madden. But it's that point that we're making of you're going in, you're spending time. You're getting the colleges, you're getting the birthday, you're getting the hometowns, you're selecting all the equipment you want this player to have, and when you do that, you're more apt, obviously, to play with that player because you're spending all this time building him up. And the other great thing about this is you had a lot of different options as to how this was going to go. I mean, you take a look here, you could either enter the NFL draft, where you basically took a crapshoot as to which team was going to take you, or you could actually choose to walk on as an undrafted free agent, take your pick of every team, but it was a little bit harder of a road. And like I said, that's where this game kind of struggled a little bit, in the way it was pretty limited in the options you had as a player. I think some people will remember you would be a receiver, but you would only play on certain plays, or you could only run certain routes. The quarterback wouldn't throw the ball to you. It kind of really was clumpy. It kind of just tripped over itself in ways. But like I said, the problem is, those are all things that could have been resolved through community feedback years and years and years down the road now. Instead, we're basically left with something in Longshot that is almost the complete opposite of this. It's total non-immersion. It's essentially just playing through a movie on your controller and selecting what you think the character should do next. There's no immersion to that. There's no customization to that. There's no real options with that. And you don't, at least I didn't, feel like that was something that I wanted to spend a whole lot of time with, because I felt like everyone had the same thing. I showcased one of my first videos. No matter what you did, you couldn't fail on the TV show. In this game, you could technically fail. You could go to a team you didn't want to be on, get limited plays, and not like the situation and want to start over. And these options are what makes games good, because for every person that doesn't like one or two things, someone else will like three or four. And it seems like Madden has really done a good job at closing those options up for us. In terms of this year, we all play as the same character. And if you think about that, that's a tragedy in making a sports game. Love to know what you guys think about this. I appreciate you checking out this video, and you know that I'll be back in the week with more commentary.